Okay.
Later.
And welcome back. I'm Christine Bentley in studio with Kate Wheeler. And joining us today are our two favorite sisters and moms, Leigh and Meg, because wherever they go, it's kind of a bit crazy and it's fun and there's lots of laughter to follow. And they have the hood staked out, and that's motherhood.
Yeah.
So what is going on?
Oh, it's Halloween, which I think for kids, it's almost like mind-blowing. Because not only do they get to dress up, but they get to eat all kinds of garbage. But Meg and I have been faced with, like I think most parents, like the onslaught of sexy Halloween.
Slutty Halloween.
But sassy.
Put out to us as sassy. It's sassy Halloween. You know, my daughter wants to be Captain America. Well, there's a Captain America costume, or there's also in her age a sassy Captain America costume where it's a skirt and a little short puffy sleeve. And I shake my head and I say, why? Why are we doing this? And it only gets worse. I mean, at least that one is relatively tame. They get older and it gets worse and worse, and we're basically asking girls to go out in their bra and underwear and say, hey, I'm just fresh out of bed.
With a cape on, Megan. Come on. My favorite one, Christine and Kate, is the sexy M&M. Now,
a sexy M&M.
Well, there's obviously the big puffy furry M&M that's round. It looks like an M&M. Right. Then there's the tank dress, which to me looks like a tank top with M&Ms all over it. I call that the sexy M&M. If anyone out there listening is going to go and buy that M&M tank dress, you got to shake your head. Yeah. You're not going as a sexy M&M. Yeah. Either go as an M&M or don't go out at all. That's the dumbest costume.
Did you ever have this problem? Did your kids ever come to you with wanting to be?
Well, I had boys, so I didn't have that problem, but I do remember later on, I'd be someplace like Winners or in some store, and some 4-year-old would be pulling out basically Tiny Tart, and from the Tiny Tart row, and the mother would be going, honey, I don't think so. Oh, I want to do this. Mm-hmm. So, what do you do? I guess there are some parents that are really fighting back, and I think was it Target where they got some stuff, or somewhere where they got some stuff taken back because they said, really.
It's really interesting you just brought that up, Christine, because this morning I gave my 5-year-old daughter a hand-me-down shirt of her brother's, and she loves boy clothes, so it was an extra small Old Navy shirt that fits her a little bit big. Meanwhile, her girl Old Navy shirts that are size 5 are short, are too tight. And my sister and I got into that discussion, which is what this woman did at Target, where the boys' shorts are a certain length and the girls basically look like underwear again. And I don't know why we're doing this to young girls. I don't understand it.
Okay,
it winds me up.
We've got a call. We have Samira. Samira is on the line. Samira, you have a question for Leigh and Meg about Halloween costumes? She's 6.5 months, and people are asking you what she's going to be for Halloween.
Well, Samira, let me tell you, I just want to mention before Leigh and Meg weigh in, now you're welcome to guilt, and guilt will be right with you in the coffin. You will feel guilty when you're 90 and they're 60. You know what I mean? You will feel guilty about something. Oh, because you didn't have it, and later on you'll feel guilty because you didn't make it. And you didn't bake for the class, and you didn't pick her up that day, and you didn't remember the
bitter much there, Christine.
I'm not bitter. I'm just saying, just embrace it. Know it's there. Get used to it. Get make friends with it. Have coffee with guilt because it's going to be your lifelong partner. No, am I wrong?
Oh, totally, 100% right on.
Because even if you do decide to get into this world of costumes, your costume for her might not be as good as all the other kids' costumes. But I would say totally go with what you want. If you're kind of thinking she's 6.5 months, it doesn't matter if I get her a costume, I say stick with it and don't feel the pressure.
You could dress her up as a baby for Halloween if you wanted to. Or, I mean, it's never too young to get sexy. So maybe a sexy kitten, you know? Maybe just frilly socks and the little frilly diaper cover. Sexy baby. Sexy baby. So you've answered your own question, Samara. Okay. Thank you for calling in.
Okay, we've got Jen. Jen is on the line as well. Jen, if I understand right, you wanted to talk about school clothes?
Oh.
I know.
You need to get the button that says, I dressed myself.
Yeah.
And that it lets everyone know, if you care that morning, that you didn't do it. And like you said, if she feels a sense of pride and confidence in what she's wearing, then you have to let her rock it.
I kind of went through the same thing with my kids' picture day because my daughter wanted to wear her regular sort of gear that she's now totally turning to, which is more her brother's old jeans and her brother's old shirts, and looks kind of not put together that well. And I thought, what am I going to do here? Am I going to try and get her to dress the way I want her to dress? And then I thought, no, I'm going to look back at this year's school photo and laugh and remember that, yeah, this was her doing and she loved it. I'm going to go with it.
And you can always get her back later on. You bank this stuff. Just put it in the bank, put it in the memory bank. And then in high school, when she really starts turning on you, you turn it back. You pull out some gear and you go ninja on her.
How old are your kids?
My children are 7, 5, and 4.
7,
And
5,
Megan's
and
are 9, 8, and 5.
So 9-year-old's a girl?
9-year-old's a boy.
9-year-old's a boy. So the oldest girl between the two of you is yours.
Yeah, it's 7.
Is 7. And you've got like ages to go.
I know!
while they
It's
still
so
like you.
exciting!
It's not until 12, 13 when they really start to turn on you.
So let me ask you, when you guys go shopping with them, do you restrict where you go to shop based on what they're offering? Or do you kind of...
I have certain stores that I like to go to, so we usually will go there and I will just say yes or no to things. But yeah, I'm lucky that they haven't really wanted to be too involved in the shopping, so I haven't had to venture into any stores that are kind of off of my list, which
Yeah,
I
but
feel
hold on a
thankful.
second. What happened to making a Halloween costume? Because when I grew up, we
Kate,
made
come
Halloween costumes, and they were fun to make, creative. You got to, and now you're going out, you're spending like $60 to $100 on something like. Okay, everyone's raising their hands
Kate,
and
guess
screaming.
what, Kate?
Go
I mean,
ahead, Leigh.
I can't help people make their kids' costumes, but at meandmeg.com, I have put up a how-to. I am being a box of wine. And
Well, that's appropriate.
and I have all the PDFs so you can print them off, get a box, glue them on. Cost you $5.
It's honestly the only DIY Leigh has ever done that is even remotely something I can stand behind. She actually did a job that's fairly well done.
Do you have a tap that if we like bring a glass up to you, it'll?
I will do that.
I don't want to know where it comes out. Okay.
Well, my story is simply that you think $100 on a costume. I wanted to make them for my twins. Ninja Turtles cost me $400 in material. 4 months, I lost half my eyesight. And 3 days beforehand, walking through Kresge's or Walmart or whatever, they saw something for $4.99, a ugly mask with a green sheet, and said, "Mom, that's fabulous. Can we have that instead?" So, after that, you're done. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. So do not feel guilty about that one.
I remember our mom making us clown costumes, and if I feel like out of the four of us, that we have 4 total siblings, one of us was a clown every year because those costumes had been made. I wish I could make a costume. I don't have those skills.
I thought I didn't have skills. Now, last year, my daughter, who was she was 18 then. I'm busy with school and exams coming up and everything. She's like, "Can you make me? I want to go as a mermaid." I'm like, okay. I actually had a lot of fun. I got a cheap bustier, like full.
They're easy to find. It's sexy.
Easy to find. And then hot glue gun. And shells all over it, and a little bit of that stuff, the flora stuff that you put in across there, and then just got a piece of stretchy green fabric and made a long below the knee skirt and then just pleated some fabric at the back. I was very impressed. I think that sounds amazing. And she loved it, and it has actually survived the night. And is now, should anybody be needing a mermaid bustier top about size 4, we got it.
All right. I've seen your daughter. She's -4.
But
That's powerful.
Some of my favorite costumes ever that have come to the door. A girl with tulle. Creeped everywhere around her in a big ball with a rope, and she came as the loofah, the sponge. I love that. I'm totally decent but cute. Right?
I'm recalling that I said that to my kids last year. Actually, that next year they had to make their own costumes, and I'm realizing we haven't done that. I haven't followed through on that because you're right. It's more interesting if they kind of put some thought into it and come up with something.
Piece of pizza, big piece of cardboard in a triangle with your face as the
and
piece
that's
of
not
pepperoni.
Sexy.
I know that's cute.
See. You failed as a mother, Megan.
There you go. Just keep in mind, though, that anything that's paper it'll rain that night.
Actually, Christine, you make a good point. That's right.
Soggy pizza.
Do you know how many times that you make these costumes? How many times when they were young, and then it ended up being that night so cold, and here's this beautiful costume, and they're all in their puffy coats and their boots and their hats and their.
You know what we could do here today is all unite, all the Canadian parents, and not buy a costume because let's face it, I stay back and hand out the candy, which I have a glass of wine in the other hand. It's a great setup I have. But every kid comes to the door in a Columbia ski coat or some kind of ski jacket because it's too cold. You don't even see the costumes.
Absolutely.
That's
we
it.
have to take a break right now. We're going to have Leigh and Meg on. If you want to call in, you can always phone in with a question. And when we come back, we're going to change gears a little bit, talk about how you talk to your kids about events like what unfolded in Ottawa yesterday. Stay with us at What She Said.